Okay, so you have your notes for finding simple interest. Let's just go to some of the questions. We're working in exercise 2B here. So for example, in the first one, we have a principal of $400. So it's interest equals principal times the rate times the time. So that's simply the amount of interest equals $400 times 5% times, and it's given in years. Even though it's more years, that doesn't make any difference. As long as it says years, you just use the number that they've given you, and then it's a matter of just doing the math. So will somebody, and remember when you're multiplying, the order doesn't matter, so you can multiply them in order the way they're given, or you could multiply the 4 times 400, doesn't matter. Yes, sir. What do we get? Sorry? $80, right? Don't forget your units there. Okay? And of course, you would want to answer this in a full sentence. Just practice with it. You don't have to write them down every time. So you would say that the amount of simple interest earned on $400 at 5% interest for 4 years would be $80. So make sure you think about those complete sentences. When you do an assessment, you're always going to answer as a sentence. Just if you just said $80, that doesn't make any sense, right? So don't forget, not only do you have to do the math, you have to also explain what you did. So let's do one together where we're looking at what happens when they give us an unusual period. So say if you were doing F, 2.5 years. Since it's given in years, do I need to convert the 2.5? No, because it's already given in years. But how about if we were doing G, where it's given as 6 months? Can I use 6 months?
You do 0.5 years.
There you go. So you can either do 6 out of 12 months, or you can change it to 0.5 years, or you could use 1/2. Really makes no difference because your calculator is going to do the math for you anyway. So you've all practiced using the calculator to work with fractions. Remember the fraction key, the A of BC key, and remember that you can always change those to decimals by pushing which key? S to D. But remember that when you do that, some decimals come out evenly like this one, but not all decimals do. So be careful if you change them. It's preferable to use fractions in the mathematics when you're actually performing the computations, but then when you get your answer, of course, your answer is going to be in money, so we want it as 2 decimal places rounded, right? So let's look at H, and we'll do it together. All right. All right, Max. So first of all, we're trying to find the amount of what? Start with an S. What are we looking at? There you go. Just the amount of simple interest, right? Remember that part of the reason I do this is because you really need to focus on what it is you're doing. Too often what we do is we just do the assignment, get the math right, yeah? But we don't relate it back to what it is that we're supposed to be learning. And so when we mix it all together, I knew it then, but I can't do it now because it's all mixed together, right? So that's why I do these kind of things. So we're dealing with simple interest. Good. All right, Tom, there's a formula for simple interest. Can you tell me what it is, please?
Interest equals PRT.
PRT. Good job. All right. And Nick, so I is the amount of interest you earn. What does the P stand for? The principal. And in H, what is the principal in this case? $85.50. Good. Good job. All right. Finley, we're going to multiply that times the R, which stands for? Okay, and that is the, what is it called?
Rate.
The rate. Good, thank you. 22.5 what? Percent, yeah. Okay. Good, thank you. And then, Billy, we're going to multiply that times the time. And how much time do we have in this case? 9 months. But our simple interest only gives us these things in years, so how can I write 9 months as a number of years? Perfect. There you go. So 9 over 12. So now we've set up the problem. Give you a second just to do the mathematics. Punch that into your calculators. So I'm calling somebody to answer. All right then, Oscar. Do you have an answer for me then, please?
My calculator doesn't like go from fractions to decimals, and I don't know how to do it on this one.
Okay. Should bring it up here and let me look real quick. That doesn't mean I know how to do it on this one either, but we'll see. So you got an answer as a fraction, or did you? So you pushed it all in?
I just had 9 to 12 still.
Okay. So 85.5 times 22.5. Where's your percent key? Do you know?
No, I don't know if it's on there.
It's on there somewhere, but so you need to find it to make sure. You have a lot of problems with percent. Okay, well, we can change it to a decimal. You can change it to a decimal, too, by just moving the decimal 2 places.
Oh, yeah,
so we'll
okay.
put it in as a decimal for now. Where's my back button? I don't want to clear it all.
That.
There we go. Ah, delete. Yeah, we'll just delete that. Each one, that's weird. Okay,
Yeah.
so 0.225. Oops. Let's just start over. 85.50 times 0.225. Find your percent key because it's going to be really helpful for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Times,
just bring
and
the
actually, yeah, bring the other calculator would be even
Yeah,
better.
I got it
And then it's the fraction bar on key on this one is the alpha. See,
Yeah.
there's a fraction alpha. There you go. So 9 twelfths. Enter. And there you go.
Okay, thanks for that.
All right, no worries. Okay, Cooper, can you tell me what the amount of interest is, please?
So the amount of interest for H would be $14.43.
Okay, we all agree? Good job. Okay, now you had some other decimals at the end of that. Why did he round that to 2 decimal places? Because it's money. So make sure you watch out what kind of units you're measuring in, because if it's money, it always should be rounded to 2 decimal places. Good deal. All right, so what I'm going to do is, let's look at a couple more of these together, and then you're going to work on some on your own. So let's see what else we're given in this exercise. Let's look at number 2. Okay. In number 2, that's an Excel exercise. You can work on that if you want to. Clearly, she wants it done, so we'll be able to do that. Remember that when you're doing the Excel exercises, if you use Cambridge Go, you can just click on the Excel and it'll open up the thing in Excel already loaded. So everything that you need to have is there. So we'll do that one in a moment. All right. Here we go. So we have simple interest again. Calculate the total amount paid. Now, in this case, what they're doing is they're looking for the total amount to be repaid. So we have not just the interest, but we want to find the total amount to be paid. And the amount that to be paid is the interest plus the principal. Or you can reverse that. The amount to be paid is the principal plus the interest. So the only difference here is that you'll be finding the amount of interest and then adding the principal back in to find the total amount that you would pay. Okay, so let's just look at one of those together. So look at something like C, right? Here. So Massey, I want to find I need to first find the interest. So the amount of interest is found using the formula what? PRT. Also, guys, remember you could also write it as P what? I-N. And often it's written as PIN in formula sheets because they've already converted it. Okay, so PRT, good job, thank you. All right, Jamie, so what in this case, looking for the amount of interest, what is my principal in this case? $1,200, good. Times, look at what is the rate in percentage here? 7.25%, good job. Times, Jack, you're the only one that got any challenging problems because it's given as 6 months. So how can I write 6 months as years? As 1/2. Good job. Or you could write it as 6/12, or you could write it as 0.5. Makes no difference to me. And as a matter of fact, unless it's something really common like this, that you really know the reduced version of it, the simplified version of the fraction, you don't have to reduce it or simplify it because your calculator will do that when you do the math. All right? So it's not necessary. If you wanted to write that as 6/12, it's perfectly fine at this stage. Good deal. All right, take a second to put those in your calculator for those of you who haven't already done it because I was taking too much time. Then I'm going to call on somebody to answer. Tell us what we get for the amount of interest then, please. So how much interest did you get when you did that? Sorry, 43.5, and of course we're dealing with money, so that's 43.50, and of course it's in dollars. Okay, make sure you put your units on there. Good. All right. Now, but in this particular question, they're not asking that. They're asking just the interest. They want to know the total amount to be repaid. And you're going to pay the interest, but you're also going to have to pay back the principal as well, right? So we're going to take that principal and add it to the interest. So, Xavier, could you tell me then, if you add the interest to our original principal amount, what is our total amount to be repaid going to be? Perfect. There you go. So again, pay attention to the question that's being asked. If they're asking for the total amount paid, that means you're going to have to add those two figures together to get your final answer. Good. All right. Let's see what else she's given us to do in this one. So that was number 4, right? Let's look at number 4. If you look at these, so we have our balances here. We don't have that last one, but the smallest number in our list right now is $4,000. So if they pay the interest for this particular period, they're going to pay it at that with the $4,000 rate. So it's always the lowest balance that they pay it on. So all you need to do is find all the balances if they're not already given, and then you'll simply do the interest formula with the lowest balance. Okay? There we go. All right. So what we'll do is we'll take the time that we have remaining. You can work on this homework, and then when the bell goes, we'll take a little break and then come back and do the other section, which is just more simple interest, by the way, so you'll be very happy. All right?
So, I searched it up and